Good evening, panel members. I have a question for Dr. Anjali Nagpal. I am Apurva Mittal, an MSc Botany student from University of Rajasthan. Ma'am, given your work with anxiety disorders and neurofeedback, how do you think emerging tools such as brain mapping can help us better understand climate-related anxiety and build more sustainable long-term approaches to mental well-being as we face the climate crisis?
So thank you for asking me this question. It's a very vital question. This is exactly where psychiatry or mental health is going in the next 10 years, in a decade or so. So it is going to be more about the neural networks and the diagnosis, which up till now has been mostly on the symptoms, has changed to which network is impacted, and is that network, is has it been a recent change or has it been there for a very long time? Then we can see at times some irreversible changes in some of the brain, structures. Now, thing is that when we are talking about anxiety, as we call it as eco anxiety, we see it can happen to anybody. It could happen to the person who is actually undergoing there, who is facing, some sort of that, the flash clouds, or that floods that were happening, losing your very some close one. So that is something which would be happening firsthand there. But it also happens to people, because these days, news travels as fast as I wouldn't say fire, I would rather say internet. So it travels so fast, it happens there within a minute, or less than a minute, about it. So all those people who are sitting at home and watching some sort of doom scrolling or doing something or the other, they also are actually very much involved. So when we can see brain map, we also come to know whether such a problem has been there for a long time. There is a part in brain map which we call as Slorita, which gives us the immediate sort of, the repercussion which has happened, the action and the reaction. So we will see changes in that particular area. But if we are finding changes in the networks, and if we are finding changes in the brain structures, then we know that there is underlying problem also. So certainly right now might be, it is not that prevalent all over, but yes, with times to come, this is where the mental health sort of this field is going towards what cardiology and endocrinology had been, say, 10 years and 20 years back. So this is how exactly psychiatry is developing now. So there is a difference, and we can easily pick it up from this. And then neurofeedback is something like you are using your brain to heal yourself. Okay. So if it is something about anxiety, we can teach them, of course. Dr. Puri would be in a good this thing to tell us about it, but there are so many techniques. It could be grounding technique, it could be JPMR, wherein muscle relaxation, it could be the breathing exercises, and there's so much that we have to offer as the such an old civilization that we have been. We have so much to offer, and so many of the newer techniques which we are seeing, look at them, I said, oh God, this has been there for ages with us. But no, now it is coming with a brand, and it is more acceptable. So yes, this is such an exciting time to be in this field, and it is such an exciting time to be actually, dealing with these things. But yes, it is not that exciting seeing that the way that our planet and the climate is actually shaping up. So certainly a little work there, but as far as the mental health fraternity, including the psychologists, psychiatrists, the social workers, the psychiatric nurses, we are all one fraternity. So we are all working towards it, and we are finding day and night, we are finding ways of actually overcoming whatever either it is a disorder, or it is just about some traits, some symptoms. So yes, we can handle that.